We just did an interview with David Moskowitz of Coin Republic and Bitcoin Singapore, and he was talking about how roughly 90% of Cambodia is currently unbanked, and there are moves from people with and organizations with means to bring a cryptocurrency solution to Cambodia to solve the unbanked problem. And I'd like to kind of just throw an idea out there and just see if you think it would be viable or not. As far as Bitcoin IPO anywhere in the world, I mean, NYSE, it's just not there yet. And if you think about it, if there was a Bitcoin IPO, it would be remembered in a week or two and it would be forgotten next, because there's tons of IPOs that go on. There are tons of stocks in the US market. But what about an IPO in a frontier market, as far as the first or the second or the third IPO of that country being a Bitcoin IPO?
Well,
that would be a part of that nation's history, wouldn't it?
Bitcoin ETF is being launched.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, I have nothing against Bitcoin. I think the concept is brilliant. It's a really brilliant concept because it bypasses essentially the banking system. But equally, Bitcoins, they have value. That value is expressed in US dollars. So it's not really that you buy things with a Bitcoin. You exchange it essentially for US dollars and then you buy something. And so the value of Bitcoins will obviously fluctuate, as well as the value of the US dollar. And if someone tells me, oh, in Cambodia or in India, only 10% of the people have a bank account, then I would assume that these people are not capable to actually transact in an encrypted currency.
It's
you understand?
Even more complex.
I rather think that in societies that have very limited banking services, that gold is essentially a very important money or way to transact.
Sure.
I say in Vietnam, when people buy a house, they frequently buy it with physical gold. And equally, I think that over time, people will have bank accounts. I mean, that's why the banks in frontier markets are relatively So I don't know. I mean, I'm open-minded towards Bitcoin. I'd like to point out that there can be competing Bitcoins that may be called differently, but in principle, many people can start something.
And that would create, a lot of inflation, whereas you can't come up with another form of gold to store it on the market.
I'm not sure whether it will create a lot of inflation, but it will be like different currencies. They will compete with each other. And we had in the 19th century in America and also in Britain, banks, they issued their own money, so each bank had its own banknotes.
Kind of like
so it is possible, but as I said, my investments are limited to essentially physical gold, cash, real estate, equities, bonds, commodities.
Okay. Interesting. You just mentioned Vietnam, and that was good that you mentioned that. Because I wanted to ask you about that, and I was not aware that people were buying houses with gold in Vietnam, so I find it very interesting because I was there when there was a Asia Commercial Bank had that meltdown during that summer, and I saw everybody rushed to the gold shops because they got out of the bank as soon as they could, and they changed over to gold as much as they could.